Present your question, 30 seconds.
Lascan. Well, Minister, as you know, I think something like 112 people have tragically lost their lives on the roads this year so far, which is 7 more than lost their lives at this stage last year, and that includes 21 pedestrians, 59 drivers, 13 passengers, 12 motorcyclists, 5 pedal cyclists, 2 pillion passengers. I'm asking you basically, can the Road Safety Authority, does it need to really upscale, upgrade its major campaigns to try and bring it home, particularly to speeding and aggressive drivers, that their behaviour is, one of the causes, perhaps the key cause of these tragic figures?
Thank you, Cancolo. First of all, let me say that I agree that the figures for deaths on our roads this year are disappointing and a matter of serious concern, both for the Road Safety Authority, for Deputy Broughan, and for me. We have seen a general long-term downward trend in road deaths on Irish roads over the past 2 decades. The number of road deaths dropped from 458 in 1998 to a record low of 144 in 2018. This is a drop of over 68%. This result has been achieved through the work of many people and organisations. It's been achieved through better maintenance of roads, improved standards for and testing of vehicles, significant increases in the standard of driver training, and a wide variety of public messages to improve the awareness of safety among the road-using public, complemented by effective enforcement and the ongoing development of road traffic law, including a new regime for drug driving and, most recently, tougher legislation on drink driving, which I introduced last year. I think the organisations such as PARC and IRVA should be applauded too and singled out for their bravery and the effectiveness of their campaigns on road safety. At the same time, it's widely acknowledged, and I've said many times, the lower the number of road deaths becomes, the more difficult it becomes to reduce the number of tragedies on our roads becomes. Last year's figure of 144 road deaths was a record low, as was the figure of 157 in 2017. We have always known this is a challenge to keep up the pressure to reduce the figures further, as we've seen across Europe. Speeding is, in general, one of the principal causes of deaths on our roads and on roads across the world. However, in relation to recent road deaths, it's important to remember that the Gardaí are still conducting investigation of these cases. We should not prejudge what particular factors will turn out to be involved in them. I agree with the Deputy that the work of the RSA in getting the message about the dangers of speeding and other irresponsible driving practice is an essential component in maintaining that pressure. Speeding is a crucial factor in more ways than one. As the Deputy, who has, I know, taken a keen interest in road safety for many years, will surely be aware, speeding not only increases the risk of collisions, but significantly increases the probability of death or serious injury resulting from collisions when they do occur. It's the single most important factor, nationally and internationally, in road deaths. The RSA works strenuously every year to promote public awareness of road safety, including the danger of speeding. A targeted anti-speeding campaign was conducted last May, and another is planned for later this month around National Slowdown Day. At the same time, it has always been the case that we need to act on multiple fronts. That's what we've been doing in the overarching framework provided by the National Road Safety Strategy, and which was reinforced by the mid-term review of the current strategy.
And the official report, even after 3 minutes, there's still
Thanks, Can. Well, obviously, Minister, I'm aware of the many campaigns that the RSA has been pursuing, the unaccompanied minor driver, seatbelts, crash lives, the Safe Cross Code, and so on. Last week, I think Thursday, 26th of September, was Project Edward European Day without a road death. But there seemed to be very little promotion of it in this country, or indeed maybe Europe-wide. And I know, of course, next week, 7th to 13th of October, is Irish Road Safety Week again. And I know drink driving, tire safety, anti-speeding, leading lights, motorcycle safety and so on, anti-drug driving, driver fatigue, all of those presumably will be highlighted. But again, I would come back to whether, is there an evaluation, is there any research perhaps being carried out onto the impact of the RSA's current singular campaigns on different aspects? Would it be better to perhaps concentrate on overall driver behaviour, in particular particularly in relation to aggressive driving, tailgating, and moving at great speed between lanes and so on. Would it be better, and overtaking, would it be better to focus on that in a very broad way to try and dramatically get the message across to drivers to slow down? Thanks, Ken.
Yeah, I'm always open to suggestions from Deputy Broughan. I think he knows that, and to bring down road deaths. And I take his point about there doesn't seem to be a lot of promotion over Project Edward. I don't think it's right, but I don't think it would have seen much, because there was a very large media activity in Dublin Castle to market last week, which the Garda Commissioner was there, the RSA, the head of the Chief Secretary of the RSA was there, the Minister was there, that's me, and several other people who were involved in this were there. I don't know whether it attracted very much publicity, but my guess is, from what you say, it probably didn't attract enough attention. It's not, I don't think, within our power to tell the newspapers or the media what to cover. Sometimes they do and sometimes they don't. But I was personally disappointed with the fact that it didn't get much more coverage. It was a dark day for road deaths. There was a death. There were 2 deaths on the roads just after midnight on that particular day. So it was a difficult day for us. But we do have high level. We do have the Committee on Road Safety meets every quarter, which includes the Minister for Justice and me, and others, the guards, the RSA and others. And I'd be very happy if the Deputy wants to give me suggestions for that.
Well, obviously, the Road Safety Strategy, the Road Safety Authority, I think it aims to reduce collisions, deaths and injuries by 30%. In their current strategy, and obviously there's a huge interest, I think, across the world in the Vision Zero approach, which Sweden and other countries, Scandinavia, Canada and so on, have been trying to pursue. But again, it does seem that there is a lacuna there in relation to the RSA's requirement to develop and implement information education campaigns, sufficiently successful. The other element, of course, is enforcement, Minister, and we're still waiting to your government and the previous government slashed the size of the traffic police by more than half, I think. We still have projections that Commissioner Harris says he wants to return, I think, the numbers of traffic police to 1,000 plus, and to get it back up to the kind of territory we were familiar with in the mid-noughties. And so is that something you work on? The other final thing, the handheld devices, Minister, we're hearing that the tender hasn't even gone out for those yet.
Final response, please.
Thanks, Can.
Yeah, let me just say to the Deputy, enforcement is obviously a matter for the Department of Justice, but I can understand if he's frustrated by the fact that there probably aren't enough Gardaí on the roads. There'll probably never be enough Gardaí on the roads, in fact, to enforce, but and the numbers are increasing. Enforcement is very much a matter for the Department of Justice. I wouldn't, but I will convey that message to the Minister when I see him at the next meeting on road safety, which he attends regularly as well. I think it would be appropriate to say to the Deputy that with regard to speed, which he just addressed, my proposals for a graduated speeding penalty system, which you'd be aware of, which will be more targeted and proportionate, are due to be considered shortly at a Cabinet committee. Evidence suggests that drivers continue to drive in excess of the safe legal speed limits.
Deputy Donoghue, who's taking the next question.
Sorry?
Minister, there are members here who are waiting, and I'm not being critical.